This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together Short Bite Edition. Today we're going to have a lot of fun talking about a great game that we love playing, which is called Mastermind by Pressman Games. This game has been around for a long time.
This is a classic.
I'm looking at a box that is probably circa potentially when I was born type of thing.
I don't know. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's one of those things I'd always seen, right? So if you may not know when I say Mastermind right off the top of my head, but if you've ever seen, it's got all the pegs all over the board. So one person is creating a code with 4 pegs of different colors, and it's against another person. So it's only a 2-person game where that person's trying to figure out the code, and they go line by line, but they'll put 4 different pegs in.
And these are different colors, and you're choosing which one, trying to find the combo.
Right, and then the code maker gives information to the code breaker. So in the full version of Mastermind, that information is not completely there, right? So basically there are 4 little pegs next to the 4 big pegs, and you'll turn yellow or red depending on if some of them are right or some of them are wrong. So white would mean this is wrong and red means this is right, but it doesn't tell you in what order. So you don't actually know which peg is right and which one is wrong. You just know, hey, I've got 2 wrong and 2 right. And so there's a lot of deduction involved. For that level of the game, it's ages 8 and up. But we actually modify the game to play with our preschooler. And the way we do it, we make a code of 4 pegs. When she puts in her 4, then we point to each one and we give it 3. There's 3 possible answers. It's right, meaning it's the right color in the right location. It's wrong, meaning there are none of that color in the code, or it's in the wrong spot. So there is that color, but it's not in the right place. So she uses that bit of information to help her make the next line or the next try at breaking the code. This has been fantastic. Our daughter absolutely loves to play it.
Yeah, it's a great logic game. I mean, it's
terrific.
It's sort of that, I would say it's almost an early coding type of game too, where you're trying to come up with an algorithm that cracks some type of code, and you're thinking it inside your head, and you're using these various combinations. And obviously colors is, again, if you want to use this to reinforce colors, you can reinforce a little bit of numbers as well. Just an absolutely fantastic game. It took her about 1 or 2 or 3 tries to get into it, but she really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just exploded, where no help at all, totally understood the rules, and just wanted to play, 10 or 15 rounds at a time. It's amazing.
Right. She loves it because, and I think this is great, because it switches.
Yeah.
So right now I'm the code maker and she's got to do it. And then she gets all, I get to make the code for mommy, right? And so she's really enjoying putting the pegs in on her side and then trying to stump me. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting because the way that the
stumping has been fun, because
it's been fun.
She realizes that, I can either choose all the pink colors, or I can choose all the yellow colors, or I can try to, do different combinations. She thought it had to be very simple at first, and now she's gotten a lot more creative in trying to outwit you. And I think she realized using all the same color may not be a good thing. Now she's using all the colors and all different combinations of those, and she just got a lot more creative. You're echoing back the same play at her. Maybe I'll try to just do all whites. And she goes, oh, you can do that? That's an option.
Right. So she's learning. And depending on how you approach the first couple lines of colors of how you do your code can tell you quite a bit of information. So she's learning the strategy. So it's not just the deduction of, okay, was it right, wrong, or wrong place, but also the strategy of making my first line all different colors. So right then I've gone ahead and outed 4 of the 6 colors. And I know if she's going all one color, I'll be able to cross quite a few off the list. So she's learning her strategy from my strategy by watching me play. And so it's really fun. And every time she wants to play, as Matt said, it's like 15 rounds. Each round is very short, maybe 5 minutes or so.
Maybe, yeah.
So, if both of you just wanted to do one round, you could get through a game in under 15 minutes easily. And then this does graduate, because once they're at the right point to play the full version of Mastermind, you pull in the tinier pegs and you're giving a bit more vague information, which is great. Now they do have Mastermind for kids. We don't have the kids edition, but we'll link it in the show notes because that is a simplified version that plays as ages 6 and up. And it has a modification on the way that you give hints as well. So you might find the right one to dial in for your family, but we absolutely love it. We play it with our preschooler and we'll be able to play it with her all throughout her time growing up. And I have this feeling, because there's no luck involved in this game, that, I know I already lose to you, but
yeah.
I'm going to like perpetually lose to our children. At some point, when they're not playing the simplified version anymore, I will never win this game ever again.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
We laugh because I only
true.
play games with some sort of luck involved if it's against Matthew, because he's a very good strategist. And so I have all these games like this one. When I originally bought it, I was like, I'll keep it for the kids because I can't play it with him. So I keep it for the children, right? But now I'm realizing my children are really smart. So at some point, my kids are going to out-strategy me.
Yeah.
I know. They're going to have to play with you. I'm going to be like, no, there's no luck. Mommy's not playing.
Well,
that's it.
And on top of this is kind of a peg guessing game. So if you want to kind of like lead into a game like Battleship or something of that nature, this is a really good starting point. Also dexterity, being able to put these really small pins, these little pinheads right into the little hole. Another good way to kind of teach that. Maybe even if you wanted to play with it as kind of a proto game with a younger kid, being able to put those pegs in there, or say, hey, I need all orange pegs or all red pegs or all blue pegs.
Or make a pattern out of the pegs. There's some fun things. They are a little small, so just be cautious. The pegs aren't huge.
Yeah, and especially the indicator pegs are even smaller.
Right, we don't use those at all. We only use the bigger size ones. It's great. It's a really affordable game, and I just think it has a lot of replayability. I could see our kids playing this against one another when they get to a certain age and having a ball playing two players and trying to stump each other. And
if you're really trying to pull in like a really, I would say a STEM heavy game, this is one of those, right? It's logic deduction, numbers and patterns. It's very mathematical, even though it's not numbers, it's visually mathematical. Great game to pull in if you have like a kid that you see kind of has some aptitude towards STEM. Definitely another good game to put in.
Yeah,
so
highly recommend it.
Mastermind by Pressman Games. Go out and get a copy today.
Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!